I'm Grace.
So let's get started.
I'm a recipe blogger, family-taught home chef,
Cheers.
Cheers.
iPhone-only photographer, and proud New Englander.
Pasta Primavera is classically made with spring veggies, cream, and grated cheese. With fresh lemon juice, this creamy, bright pasta really gets you in the springtime mood.
Since Pasta Primavera means spring pasta, we're gonna focus on spring veggies in our spring pasta. Only spring veggies here. So I'm gonna show you what you need to do to prep before we go over to the stove and start making the pasta. We're gonna start off with our veggies. I already minced some garlic and some shallots, and these are both gonna add some nice flavor to our pasta. I have some beautiful arugula. And then I have some little sweet peas. These are just from the frozen section in the grocery store, and I just added a little bit of water to the dish, covered the dish with some plastic wrap, and then just popped it in the microwave for like 2 minutes just to steam them. Drain the water out of them, and then you're good to go. And then the last two veggies you need to prep are your asparagus, of course, and your leeks. I love leeks. Leeks are amazing. If you haven't used leeks before, this is what you need to do. So what I did already is I cut off the dark green top and just the root bottom. And then you just wanna pop it on your cutting board and just slice it in half lengthwise. And then I like to go again, because this leek is kind of thick. So I'm gonna run my knife along the leek just like that. And then I'm going to just do thin little slices of leek. And leeks are sweet, have a mild onion taste, and they add almost a creaminess to pastas. It's just an awesome add. This is gonna be a rough segment. Okay, I'm going to work through the tears. Okay, so we have asparagus. I have a big bunch of asparagus here. And what I like to do is I like to give our asparagus a little haircut, a little shave with a veggie peeler. So first of all, I just chop the very end off because it's always like really, really tough. And then visualize half of this asparagus. This part here on the bottom is gonna be really tough when it's cooked. This kind of outer shell it has is quite yucky. So you just wanna peel the very outer shell off and set that aside in one pile. And then in a separate pile, you wanna give this guy even more of a haircut and just do these shavings of asparagus. And once you kind of get down to the middle here, you're not gonna be able to shave anymore. It's just gonna be too thin. And that's when you flip it and do the same thing to the top. Just like this, and work until it's too thin to work with. So you can take this leftover part here and you can even just, you can take this little skinny guy here and you can peel. You can take this little skinny guy here and you can use it as just a side vegetable if you want on a later night. Just steam it and it'll be delicious. It's like a little thin asparagus, but we're not gonna use that today. We're going to use this pile here, which was not that outer little shell pile, but this bigger pile here. This is going to be added to our pasta. So we're gonna keep on going. We're gonna take that outer layer right off on the bottom, and then we're just gonna shave with a veggie peeler the rest of the asparagus. So you're probably wondering, what in the world? Why do I need to do this? Why can't I just chop up my asparagus and call it a day? You can, there's no problem with that. I just found that this method is just so much better because each bite, you just get a little bit of asparagus flavor and it's not huge chunks. So do as you please. So we have all of our veggies prepped, and now we're just gonna prep a few more of our flavors that are gonna go into our pasta. We have lemon. I want 1 lemon zested, and then I want a 1/4 cup of fresh lemon juice to add into the cream sauce to make it light and delicious. And then juice. Every drop counts. Last two flavors. If you're wondering where the cheese is, I have the cheese. And I have to say that this bowl was a little bit more filled before I got to it. And finally, I have chives here. I bought these at the grocery store and then saw that they looked about 1,000,000 days old. Very sad and gross. So typically I would be using a little bit of chives in there too. If you can't find them, it's not a deal breaker. We're not gonna use them today too. Final step is to boil your pasta and to just saute your veggies and make everything come together into a beautiful pasta primavera. So the rest is easy. You already did the hard part. I have some water here. I'm bringing it to a boil, and I have a big skillet, and I'm going to put the skillet over medium heat and just ignore all the noises. Our stove is wild. It has a mind of its own. I have some olive oil, and I'm gonna add the olive oil right in the skillet. You can use butter if you want. Butter is delicious. There's no doubt about that. So if you do want to use butter, do it. And I have our shallots and our garlic. And I'm just going to come behind you and grab a little spatula here, a little spoon. And I'm going to saute this for about 3 to 5 minutes, just until the shallots start to sweat a little bit, look translucent, look a little bit cooked. They're sizzling a little bit. They're nice and fragrant and fabulous. So that means it's time to add in our shallots, not our shallots, our leeks. Already did the shallots, Grace. And our asparagus. And if you're not doing the shredded asparagus, you probably want to do this step a little bit longer because it'll take longer for the asparagus to cook off. But if you're doing the shredded, you want to turn your heat up to medium high, and you want to saute this for 5 minutes, just until it's just cooked through, not overcooked. Look at that. Everything's wilted down and just succulent and fabulous. I'm gonna turn my heat to low heat now, and I'm going to make a little well in the center of all my veggies, just like this. And it's time to add in our cream, and then our lemon juice and our lemon zest, and some black pepper. I like a lot, so bear with me. And of course some salt, you don't want to forget about that. And then you just want to stir everything together, just like so. And you want to keep your heat on low heat just to warm up that cream. You don't want to just scald it or start to reduce the sauce at all. And you're gonna add your pasta in. So I have some fettuccine. You can use linguine if you want, whatever you want, but I like fettuccine the best. And I'm gonna drop my pasta in the water. There's a few strays. And we're just gonna cook this until it's al dente. You wanna save a little pasta water towards the end to add to your sauce. It's ready. I got my pasta water, don't forget it. I'm gonna drain this. Don't forget the pasta facial. It's time. I'm putting my pasta, whoop, in the cream sauce. There was a few in there, I kinda wanna eat them. And then I'm going to take a handful of arugula and my Parmesan cheese, and then my peas that we microwaved, so we cooked them already. Pop those in there. And then I'm gonna take, probably tongs would be the easiest, and I'm just gonna toss all of this together. So once it starts to look pretty mixed, if it needs a little zhuzh of pasta water, I'm just gonna add the whole thing in there. Add the pasta water in. It'll stretch the cream a little bit. It's quite heavy. It's a lot of pasta. Yes, please. Look at this huge basil. It was clearly well fed. I'm gonna take a few leaves and I'm just gonna do a good old tear right on the top, nice and rustic. This is gonna be a bad bite. It's so good. I have it all over my face. I'm telling you, you haven't had pasta primavera until you've had this. It is to die for. The lemon, the vegetables just really sing. They're not just, you know, there to have vegetables in your pasta. They add so much flavor. Check this out on tastefullygrace.com. You won't regret it. Oh, hurts so good. Don't try this at home. Really don't.